When it comes to experimental rap, I like to think that there's a spectrum when it comes to listenability. On the one hand, you have artists like Drake or Future who are full-blown mainstream, the kinds of people who never really push the boundaries of rap. On the other hand, you have artists like Death Grips who are, well, Death Grips. However, today I'm going to steer away from both sides of the spectrum and find someone who I find to be right in the middle. And that someone is Barrington Hendrix, also known as... When I look at JPEGMAFIA's full discography, one thing is for sure: no two albums are alike. However, every track is unmistakably his. Whether I'm listening to the opening track off of his first album, Communist Slow Jams, or the opening track off of his most recent album, All My Heroes Are Cornballs, there's something that gives each song characteristics where the second the song starts, I know the artist that made the song. And part of that is definitely credited to the fact that Peggy doesn't just write, produce, and rap his songs, but he also does the mixing and the mastering of his songs. I think that this kind of personal touch to each of his tracks definitely adds a little more character to every song, and adds another level of uniqueness to his music. But as I said in the intro, I'm not here to talk about how unique Peggy is or talk about his production style, because God only knows you could find that information anywhere else on the internet. I'm here to talk about how he is able to push experimental rap to the next level, while still being able to appeal to people who tend to lean towards the more mainstream style music. And I think that the perfect example of this is his third studio album. Right off the bat, his first track, in my opinion, is one of the most digestible Peggy songs to date. 1539 North Calvert. This is one of few Peggy songs where I could picture more than just him rapping over the beat. However, just because the first track doesn't push the button as much as Peggy's other songs, that doesn't mean that it loses its personality. In fact, it's the opposite. It's the perfect way to wean the average listener into his style and production technique. And then the song ends, and the next track, Can I say that? I mean, it's spelled differently, so it's pronounced differently. You know what? I'm not gonna take any chances. The next track is Real N-Word, and is the polar opposite from the 1539 North Calvert. The ODB sample, as my mom said so elegantly when I tried to play the song in the car, quote, made her feel like a crazy person, end quote. And that's exactly what it's like. It's impossible for me to listen to that song without my heart racing to keep up with the pace of the beat. But once again, while the track is so different from its predecessor, it keeps up with the themes of the album as a whole, while also keeping the listener on its toes. The way that Peggy is able to keep each listener's attention by giving each song its own personality, while also bridging each track together fluidly, makes for what, in my opinion, is a perfect album. And that's what I believe Veteran is, a project that is able to bridge together the normal and the experimental track by track, which brings me back to the topic at hand. For anyone who is a rap fan and wants to dig a little deeper, give this album a listen. Give it a few listens, in fact, because I promise you that this is just the tip of the iceberg. That's exactly what happened to me. JPEGMAFIA took my music taste and spit in my mouth and said, hey, fuck you, your music taste can die. Come over here, let me show you something. And then pulled back a curtain and boom. My music taste expanded so much more, as did my love for Veteran. And while, yeah, I love Black Ben Carson, I love All My Heroes Are Cornballs, but for me, Veteran still holds a special place in my heart. I mean, the album took my experimental rap virginity. There was definitely a better way to say that. Let's get back to the spectrum. I'd put JPEGMAFIA right about here, mostly just because there's a lot more of this than this. But it's still not nearly as bad as this. That's for a later video. JPEGMAFIA is a lot of things. Experimental, yes. Unique, also yes. But also able to adapt to a lot of sounds. In fact, you could probably put every one of his songs into its own genre category, which is why he's more than just a rapper. He's... One.